Hi, Jean, Mickey, Susan, Steve. We wanted to just make a short video, maybe 5 minutes long, to give you a little bit of um, advance idea of what we're going to be sharing during the board meeting, and maybe we wouldn't have to review a lot of the information that I'm giving you now, and we can just discuss it and discuss any ideas that you have. Uh, We're going to go ahead and meet on uh, September 15th at 9 o'clock at Butch and Susan's house. And I understood that Susan wanted to make breakfast for us and for the spouses who are able to make it. And thank you, Susan, for doing that. If there's any problem at all with that date, please get back to me and we'll see what kind of adjustments we can make. I wanted to also let the rest know that we're standing with Mickey and Debbie in regards to their daughter-in-law April, who was recently diagnosed with cancer, and we are praying for her. They have been missionaries in Haiti and have done a really tremendous work there. And Mickey might need to head down there during the time we have our board meeting, so we're still praying about his being there. We're also standing with Jean at this time and the adjustment that she's having to go through with the loss of Tom and the relocating and sorting through things. It's been a real stress on her, and she mentioned that she may not be able to make it either because of the pressures, and we could understand that. But we hope we see you somehow, Jean, and hope that you can come if at all possible. Before I get into some details, I guess I just want to express what many have already been expressing in regards to the future of our country and the future of Christian work. With this new legislation regarding marriage and any opposition that may come against it from Christians could result in the loss of tax benefits, a 501c3 status, and we're fully aware of that. In the last couple of years, as you know, that we've been able to get a couple of houses that have helped us to, they will help us eventually to sustain our sustenance, our livelihood, and carry on the ministry. We already have many people here at IHOP who are needing to raise support and who are really hurting financially. And they're coming to us for help, which we can only help so much. I have included with this report, I'll send you a written copy of most of what I'm saying. And I've included some details regarding our finances, just to be above the board with everything. Everything we do financially, I would say 90% of everything we do is with the credit card. So I have copies of the credit card statements if you need those. And then for the few checks that I do right there in the year, I also have those listed in the register. There'll be an attachment with the email I send. And you can see how much we spent and how much we brought in. We have kept our income consistent. It's still at $36,000 a year, and we're paid up now through December. We advanced ourselves that pay so we can put it towards the loan on the house. There's still like $12,000 in the checking and $10,000 in the special projects fund, and you'll see all that. We're looking forward to coming to Hampton Roads. Kempsville Presbyterian Church has asked me to be the speaker at the missions weekend in Sunday, September 20th. I'll be speaking, and what the Lord has put on my heart is the subject of glory that shines in darkness. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to put it all together, except to say that I know that with September 13th coming, Rosh Hashanah, the blood moons, all the predictions that have come, all the dreams that people have said, have had, and there's many people saying, well, it's going to be an immediate crash, and others say, well, it's just going to be a crack in the wall, and then things are going to begin to crumble. Debbie was so hesitant; she didn't even want to travel during this time, and I'm still praying about it. But the message that the Lord has been giving me is that we are at our best when times are at our hardest, and that if the economy crumbles and everything else falls to pieces, that the Lord will be there, and the grace that He'll give us will be even greater than we've ever known before. And I can compare it to a lot of things the Lord taught me as a very young Christian. And I remember always dreading going out to sea with my Navy ship, because I was the only Christian on a ship, and I loved my Christian fellowship. And I dreaded it weeks before I began to dread it. But the day we set sail, a grace would come on me and a peace would come on me, and I'd just know the presence of God so powerfully that I'd be so glad that that I was able to get out to sea and be a witness with all those guys. And I think that's the way it's going to be now. There's certain things we really dread, but when we come to that place of need, the Lord is going to really give us His grace. So the message is going to be, don't draw back from missions, don't draw back from the nations. The Great Commission is the commandment we have to obey to make disciples of all nations. And I'll be sharing a lot about the marriage of missions and prayer, and how 24/7 prayer in the spirit of the tabernacle of David is the governmental power of God in nations that we go to. So with the establishment of houses of prayer around the Mediterranean rim, and the placement of missionaries and the empowerment of the church in those places, then we're going to be able to see God move in many ways, great ways. And so it's not time to draw back, but it's time to lunge forward and believe God for great things. So I'll tell you more about that, and hopefully you have some questions. Wanted to say that here, and it's on your report, that in Kansas City, we're here 5 years now, and it's been an interesting 5 years. I feel like the Lord has imparted to me and Debbie many good things. Just on a personal note, I'm sleeping quite a bit better these days, and have found a lot more rest. And I have really enjoyed being in the community, both the IHOP community, but also the Grandview community, and now the greater Kansas City community, where we're really connecting with a lot more people. Relationally, like having younger people come to us and ask for advice, ask for counsel, and then seeing the growth of our own home groups towards missions and connections in a lot of different ways. I feel like we're in the right place for right now. Along with that is the work that we're doing in the Mediterranean region. A lot of the work up to this point, as you know, has been in Spain, and has also been here in regards to our consistent times of prayer, both on Tuesday at noontime, but then on Wednesday for a couple hours with the Spanish prayer set, and how they have grown in interest, and how so many of them are now saying, well, we want to be part of it. At the same time, in Malaga, Miguel Angel and the others there, they continue to press forward with the things that we've taught them, and are manning a house of prayer with a group of churches, not a whole lot of people, but people from many different churches coming together once a week. And in Gibraltar, they're doing the same. And there's some issues in Gibraltar we're working through, but they're still being faithful. And now in Algeciras, which is a town outside of Gibraltar, it was La Línea, San Roque, and then Algeciras. There's brothers in Algeciras who were with us in 2006 and 2007 who want to see a house of prayer established in Algeciras. And they told me, they says, well, we remember how it was during those 2 years of 30 days of prayer, and how we sensed the presence of God. And since then, it's been so hard and so difficult. We feel like we must do this to survive. So that's all going forward, and I'm planning to be there at the end of October. I'm going to visit several places in Spain, and there's a lot for me to do there. Not sure if Debbie's going to go or not at that time. But on the same trip, I'm planning to go to Athens, Greece. And now what happened is that Dave Warnham, Dave and Stravka, Dave is married to Stravka, who's from Macedonia. They have 7 children, and they've been working with the Syrian refugees in Turkey and Macedonia, but now relocating to Athens, Greece. Dave was part of ZHOP, the Zadok House of Prayer, which was in North Carolina, and he's had a desire to see a house of prayer established in Athens, which would be a base from which to minister to the Syrian refugees, which there's thousands, tens of thousands all the time, and you've probably seen some of the news reports. So I was really excited about it because we've been praying consistently around the Mediterranean for not only Spain, but Morocco, for Algeria, for Tunisia, for Libya, for Greece, for Italy, for France, for Macedonia, for some of the islands of the Mediterranean, for Gibraltar. And so we have these targets that we've been praying into, and little by little, the Lord keeps opening the doors. And so we just want to continue to be missional and continue to lunge forward with what He's given to us until He says stop. I don't think He's going to say stop, but that's what we're looking at doing now. So the plan is, after I go to Spain for a week, I'll go over to Athens for a couple of weeks, join Dave there, and there'll possibly be a few others with us to launch this thing, and to also spend time ministering to the Syrian refugees, getting to know them. We'll probably spend a couple of days going into Macedonia and visiting with some people there as well. And just a couple more things, and I know I've gone 12 minutes already, but the training of missionaries, like we used to have the missionary training camp, we plan to relaunch that now, and I know we've been talking about it a long time, but I feel like now the time has come, and I've been overwhelmed with so many things, and I think part of it is just the practicalities of what we're trying to do, and maybe also my own, what is the word I'm trying to find, distractedness, being distracted or being too diverse. I found it's part of my personality not to be focused, but to be spread out wide, and it's got its strengths and it's got its weaknesses, and that's why I think that what God is enabling me to do now, apart from Debbie, is to put together people and to be a catalyst, because people seem to trust us, and they listen to what we have to say. So to really be a catalyst and see things moving and people moving, that's what I really want to do. And so we've hesitated having the training because it's so labor intensive. We haven't had a sure place yet, and we haven't been sure of who would come, but now we feel that now's the time to launch it. And several of our younger folks here who we've been counseling and mentoring, they've encouraged us to do it also. So it might be a whole different ball game. It'd be great if you guys could come out here, but we'll see how that works out, and we'll keep you posted. The last thing is something Debbie will give you more details on regarding Intercessors Arise. She continues to write faithfully, and as you've maybe seen on her Facebook, tens of thousands have read the articles, and books are being sold. Not as many as we'd like, but a lot of books are being sold, and we'll bring some of those books with us when we come to Virginia also. Well, that's all I want to say now. That's basically a rundown of the items that we'll cover at the board meeting. And if you'd be prepared to ask questions, give suggestions, help us to cover the bases that I maybe haven't covered, or maybe I'm not explaining well enough, that'd be really good. I appreciate your prayer, and I look forward to seeing you all. God bless.